Hey, Legette Franklin. I want to say a few words off the cuff and from my heart about shootings in this country and gun violence. So, I keep hearing these arguments, the same arguments, every time one of these shootings happens, that there's really nothing that can be done, that the children's lives are the cost of freedom, as Bill O'Reilly said. And it just boggles my mind that people think there's nothing we can do. First of all we have to do is look to Australia and see how after a mass shooting they were so outraged that they passed very strong gun laws against semi-automatic and automatic weapons. They did a gun buyback program, so don't tell me we get too many guns on the streets, there's no way to get them all back. They did a serious gun buyback program and got most of the guns off the street. Since that time, I think it was 1996 when that mass shooting happened, and they passed the law, there have been 0 mass shootings in Australia. So we know there's an answer that works. But let's just say, okay, we can't possibly get all those guns back, and the other argument I hear all the time is if you take guns away from responsible citizens, only criminals will have guns, and they'll find a way to get guns anyway. Well, so if you lock your door at night, criminals are just going to find a way in anyway, so why lock your doors? I mean, this just makes no sense at all to make this argument that we shouldn't do anything because it won't work 100%. It just doesn't ring true and seems disingenuous at best. Finally, there is a very simple answer that would help us prevent a lot of these mass shootings. It's already in place. There's already the equipment, the company, the means to deal with the situation. So I don't know if you have allergies and take Pseudofed, but I call this the Pseudofed solution. If you remember when people were buying tons of Pseudofed to create methamphetamines because they would use this as a raw ingredient, and there was a meth epidemic. We have a killing gun epidemic in this country. And so what the government did was to make it a requirement that all Pseudofed be taken off the over-the-counter shelf, moved back behind the pharmacy counter, and every time someone purchases Pseudofed, they have to bring their ID, they have to give their ID to the person at the counter who scans their ID, it goes into a database, and if anyone buys over a certain amount of Pseudofed, it's a red flag that they are using it to make meth. If they buy too much, too often, local authorities are alerted. And there's one company that handles 90% of the Pseudofed sales in this country. They have the equipment available. So let's just move the bullets back behind the gun counter. Require the gun shop owner to hire this company to put in their machine, scan their license, and if somebody starts buying more bullets than it takes to go on a hunting trip, then local authorities are alerted. This could have avoided the Las Vegas shooting. This could have avoided the Orlando shooting. It could have avoided most of them if the authorities were notified because the person bought an outrageous number of ammunition. Nobody needs to stockpile ammunition in this country. You're not going to overthrow the government with your little rifle. So don't even give me that. So that's what I have to say. The Pseudofed solution to me, if we can't agree on anything else, why not that? Why not at least make people show their ID, put in a database, and alert local authorities when they buy a outrageous number of ammunition? Thanks. That was off the cuff and from my heart.